Do you have a home lab? That's the interview question that I used to get a lot when I interview, and I freaking hated this one. But now I'm ready. All right, you guys ready? Let's get things started. So I'm just gonna present to you guys some quick slides so you have an idea to visualize what I'm gonna be doing. So I just made this up. This is not something that I really followed someone else. This is just over time. Through my years of experience, I built a lot of security tools into my current infrastructure at home. It's a personal lab. I'm using a lot of commercial off the shelf products here, and I just made this name up, the Ultimate Unicorn Lab, because I put my friend through it not too long ago, a couple months ago, and it was very exhausting to go through every little things, because you do need some basic experience. But if you don't, this is the perfect time to learn with me, because you will need to know basic Windows, basic Linux, and I'm not sure who's following me in this video, but it's gonna be a lot. So I just called it the Unicorn Lab because it's gonna be a mile long, inch deep into a lot of areas where you do need to have these fundamental skills. So that's the name. So let's talk about the next. I'll go to my next slide deck here. So this is the playground that we're gonna build. I'm gonna be doing this in the Azure environment. Again, we're gonna be building virtual machines, so you will have to know some basic Windows and Linux. Basically, I'm gonna be deploying like a Windows server. We're gonna build a domain controller and a member server, and then we're gonna be building a Linux server, two of them. One's gonna be with the Tenable Nessus expert trial that we're gonna deploy on there, and then we're gonna get Splunk Enterprise. Uh, in the next slide, I'm going to show you guys the diagram. So this is to help everyone to get these type of key skills. Like over the years, in the last 7 years, I've hopped quite a bit of jobs, and each time I hopped these jobs, I was able to take something away, and that's the benefit of like job hopping sometimes, despite what a lot of people say. I lived in the DMV area, and in this area particularly, there's a lot of contracts, so it's just the way it is around here because everything's on like government contracts. So we're going to be going to talking about security engineering, vulnerability management. I've done ISO work before, so government risk and compliance is kind of my specialty. I do a lot of technical, so that makes me a little bit special because I know I can go a little bit beyond the GRC type of work. And now my current role is more into the cloud. So we're gonna be talking about the shared responsibility and actually deploying some of these cloud services in the Azure environment. And the budget for this lab, you're gonna have to use your own budget. I'm gonna show you guys how to kind of architect this in a way where you can set up a budget so you don't go over your threshold. So I think the last time I did this, it was about $50 because I left everything on. But the faster you get everything up, you go through this motion, you could just delete it again. The whole purpose is to get the experience, and then you could rinse and repeat to kind of reinforce all these aspects. So let's go to the next slide. So here's the diagram where what we're going to be building. Here I am the user. I'm going to be interfacing into my Azure portal, and I'm going to be creating a Azure Bastion, and we're going to be using this Bastion to get into our private area right here. So in this VNet, I have a private subnet that I created. I probably need to update a little bit more to draw out what actually is, because Nessus, we're going to be deploying a Nessus expert, and Nessus expert is basically a vulnerability scanner where we can basically scan virtual machines, and we're going to be using a lot of the templates in there. I haven't seen too many videos on the Nessus on YouTube, so because I have like a lot of expertise here, I'm going to be going a little bit deep in this. We're going to be onboarding assets for scanning, for setting up service accounts for each one, and we're going to be doing this for Windows and Linux devices. And not only once we scan it, I don't want you just to scan it, send a report. That's basically the vulnerability management aspect of it. We're going to actually be going hands-on keyboard to actually fix these vulnerabilities, these CVEs and exploits. And we're also going to be doing this at the Windows level and on the Linux. So you do have to know a little bit of both, because we're going to be fixing misconfigurations. using the disk-to-stick baselines or CIS. And I'm going to be showing you guys everything of everything. And this will probably take, um, I would consider this, if this was like a core official course, like a boot camp or university course, this would be the capstone project. It's going to be everything of everything. It is going to take a little bit of time, but you can just follow along with me, and we'll finish this together. So again, to explain a little bit this again, we're going to have the Nessus scanner. We're going to be scanning our Windows server here. These two are going to be two Windows server. I'm going to be using the latest and greatest. So I think it's the Windows Server 2022 that's currently out. I'm going to deploy two of them. We're going to build the Active Directory. We're going to install the roles, and then I'm going to join this member server to this domain controller, and then we'll deploy whatever the latest Splunk Enterprise is. We're going to be deploying a single instance Splunk deployment. What that means is Splunk is there's three primary components in Splunk. You have your search heads, basically like your Google search, where you're running your SPL type of searches, where you query whatever you want to see, the data. And then there's the indexer that parses the data. And then we also have the last component, which is the forwarders. So I'm going to be installing universal forward on each endpoint. And each endpoint is going to forward the logs back to the Splunk Enterprise, so we can query any logs we want. And I'm also going to be showing you how to build some basic dashboards with Splunk Enterprise, and that's going to be fun. So the next part of this lab is once we complete everything, I'm going to be showing you guys what I do on my resume to kind of transfer these type of skills that we're going to be learning throughout this lab into your resume, so you can get all the buzzwords to ensure you at least get some over the match. I've done this several times with all my friends, and they've all been able to land opportunities. So I created one slide here to basically go over your resume and how I used LinkedIn to get leads, especially nowadays with the AI doom and gloom that a lot of the jobs are going away. I'm going to be showing you guys what to do, what I've done. I mean, I recently was laid off, I think earlier this year. I never expected that to happen. And I almost got offers like the first week. Like I think like I got laid off on a Friday, and then that next following week when I was furloughed, I had offers like immediately on the first day after posting. Just as a quick, I guess, disclaimer, I'm not going to be doing this via infrastructure as code or Terraform, because I don't want to add any complexities while we're deploying these applications, because Nessus is going to require the plugin updates. I don't want to like do all the bootstrap stuff now. We'll do that maybe later on as we do this the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to be hand jamming and going to the GUI from the Azure console to deploy it. So feel free to follow along with me in the next video. I'm not going to put it in this one video because it's already kind of lengthy already. So I'm going to break it down between, we're going to do the DCs first, deploy those, deploy the Linux, install the applications, and then we'll go one step at a time.